Hello, viewers of YouTube of Wasteland TV. We are here with
Philip Cable.
What does Philip Cable do?
I am a writer and director, also an author of the book Make Movies and Make Money, published by Parlor and Company. I've been doing films for over 40 years. I've done close to 100 movies, short subjects, industrial films, commercials, music videos, and also a lot of feature films as well.
What feature films?
Well, let's see. I did Night Mistress, which was a kids' film about a team of superheroes about 20 years ago. In fact, we're here at the convention actually celebrating the anniversary of that particular movie. Did a movie called Action Agency, 24 Hours at Midnight. Did Running Time. More films than I can care to think of. Because I've done close to 100 movies, so it's hard to remember some of the titles of it right now. Right now, I'm currently working on a movie called Night Mistress, which is a horror film, and we're doing the post-production on it. I'm pretty much done with all the sound work. We just got to wait for the music to be composed, and then it'll be out there in all the marketplace.
So, what's the story of Night Mistress?
Night Mistress is about a B-movie horror scream queen who has a nervous breakdown when her fiancé is murdered by the underworld. And she starts becoming all the characters, all the monsters from her movies to take revenge upon his killers.
So who's playing this Scream Queen?
Actually, we have one of the stars of the movie right here. It's the Night Mistress herself is played by Michelle Aranda, an award-winning actress. The owner of the studio that actually made the picture, a man by the name of Raster Michaels Koryoga, plays our villain, our dastardly villain. Ray is had been in the business for a very long time, and he's an accomplished actor, having done Broadway, having done tons of movies. In fact, he was a stuntman on the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the 90s.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, he's a cool guy, and has done a lot of different kinds of movies. So I'm very fortunate to have had him not only as a CEO of this company and an executive producer, but also as an actor.
So what got you into Hollywood?
I'm sorry.
What got you into Hollywood?
Oh, well, I'm not so much from Hollywood as I am a filmmaker who works outside of Hollywood. Hollywood is a town that it's very hard to work with, and it's very expensive. If you want to make movies, which I do, I tend to make movies outside of Hollywood, here in Central California, in Nevada, elsewhere, because the cost of film production is vastly cheaper than, say, filming in Los Angeles. But in regards to your question about how I got involved with movies,
yes,
if that's what you mean, in 1996 I began a career as a screenwriter. I had been a playwright, modestly successful, but you cannot make a living being a playwright. So I began to start working in television. I began to write for science fiction kid shows.
Which ones?
Well, there was a gentleman who was producing a lot of puppet shows, kind of like Jerry Anderson did back in the day. He never got any of his TV pilots made, but I was hired to write a bunch of TV shows for his various TV projects. But that was that interesting thing is this: when I realized that, hey, I'm really at the mercy of people when it comes to my work as a screenwriter or as writing for television, I knew I was going to have to start learning how to make my own films. So I began to do just that. I began to learn how to make movies, and over the course of time, I began to learn how to produce. I learned how to direct, how to do cinematography, how to do special effects and makeup, so that I could afford to do them on a budget that I had available to me. So it took time, but then eventually I even became a movie distributor for a while, for about 10 years, and sold movies to overseas markets. So I learned a lot, and the irony is that I began to get a lot of people calling me up at 1:30 in the morning from Uruguay or whatever, asking me, how do I do this? How do you do this, Mr. Cable? My wife finally said to me, put it in a book. So I wrote a book called Make Movies That Make Money. So, just so I could say, look, fine, go to your library and pick up a copy of this book and look on page 52. Then you'll have all the answers you need.
So, what is your one favorite project you did?
Oh wow. I loved the movie Knights of Justice because it was just a wonderful kids project, and I was just talking with one of the stars of the movie who played a character called the Night Watchman, and he tells me even to this day he goes to conventions, and that's the one thing people are they're always coming up to him with copies of the movie on DVD or on VHS. And says, would you please autograph it? You have no idea how much this movie meant to me. When I was growing up as a kid, I loved this. My own granddaughter had a very tough childhood, and she told me how much that movie meant to her as a kid, that it gave her the will to continue on at times of great despair. And so that means a great deal. Plus, I have to say that the current movie I'm working on, Night Mistress, has a very special place in my heart because it's been just a wonderful movie to have worked on. There were people on this project that I had become close friends with, and some of them even more than friends. I mean, there's one person I now think of like a granddaughter because we became really close. She was my assistant on the movie. Her name is Rebecca Rye, and she's absolutely just a wonderful actress and just a great assistant. And it's wonderful to work with people that and help them get their career started. So that to me meant a great deal.
So, if someone before we sign off, what would you tell someone what they need to do to get into screenwriting?
The first thing you need to do is develop a kind of thick skin, because here's the problem. 90% of the scripts out there, some say a minimum of 50%. Most people will tell you it's as much as 90%. But just to acknowledge that it's just a whole lot. Of all the scripts that are written are never going to be done. You're going to have a hard time, because writing for movies is a collaborative experience. You can write from your own point of view for a while, but there's a point where someone says, we need to make this change for this reason. And there are legitimate reasons. They can be economic, it may be structural, but you're going to have to make changes. So you have to understand you've got to work with other people. But first and foremost, learn something about how movies are made. The more you know about how the filmmaking process works, the more you're going to be able to write correctly for that filmmaking process. Because you can always go and you can say to them, when they tell you this cannot be done, you can say, yes, it can. All we need to do is do this. And that means we can get this shot. So learn as much as you can about how to do special effects, how to do makeup, how to do costumes. Learn something about direction if you can. Pick up a copy of my book. That'll tell you a lot about how to make movies. And by the way, as far as my book, go to your local library. You don't have to go buy a copy. Just go to your library, get a copy there, and read it and digest it like a sponge. And read every book you can on the filmmaking process. Once you know a lot, you're in a really good position to get the ball rolling with first scripts. Second, the next thing to do is start contacting people in the industry and say, look, I'm a writer. I don't have a lot of experience, but I've got some good ideas. Can I at least talk with you? One of the places you can do that is the American Film Market. It takes place once a year, usually in late October, early November. Go to the American Film Market and see if you can actually talk to some of the film companies that are there, some of the producers. If you can, you never know. You might be able to strike up a conversation, and suddenly you've got a deal going.
Thank you.